blah, blah, I have a tiny head.
The way he doesn't
Again,
know-
the body, the
he doesn't
physical,
know how to behave, right?
the body, and he wants to keep his distance.
Yes.
And keep it formal because he
Even though
doesn't
he-
want to get it's
pushing his tie down.
He doesn't want his loserness to
rub off
infect
like
his-
osmosis or anything.
Yeah, because he's so in his own,
Because he definitely goes, I'm a winner, you're a loser.
winner. Yeah, it's like trying to keep.
You see clearly
But
how
again,
he thinks about it.
Greg Kinnear, Greg Kinnear, man, what like Tony Collette, Greg Kinnear. I feel like they've just been choosing to do some different stuff lately, I guess. But their careers they're fantastic.
Yeah.
Underrated. I think he's underrated because he came from Talk Soup.
That's right. But he's
People never want to let him live it down.
he's really good.
He's good.
He's good. And Tony Collette, top notch, too.
We're just gonna watch all Greg Kinnear movies.
Okay, let's hit it.
Yeah, let's hit it. I'm gonna tell you what to do, Sean.
He doesn't know what to say.
Yeah. Nothing to say.
Olive? Dad?
Guys, I want to start.
Go!
Frank's right.
Doesn't fit into
I
his
want everyone to have at least a
world view of his.
They have the old McDonald's cups, glasses. And as you see, they have different glasses around the tables. They're not even eating out the same. Not even have paper plates. They don't even have the same cups.
Again,
and
it's
stuff.
just look, we're poor.
Yeah.
They're like us. They don't have a bunch of coordinated stuff.
Yeah.
They don't have all the fancy things like we have at our mansion here,
It's true.
where we live with our computer screen
That's right.
and do our little show.
Noticing Dwayne has stopped speaking.
Oh, yeah, he's taking a vow of silence.
You've taken a vow of silence?
He's going to join the Air Force Academy, become a test pilot, and he's taken a vow of silence until he reaches that goal.
You're kidding.
So we find out he's taking a vow of silence until. So she just laid out his whole
Yeah.
spine,
Yeah.
his goal.
His goal, yeah.
So anyway, before we get to her, gosh, there's so much that we're never gonna get through this movie.
You keep picking these movies that are so dense.
This is such a great one. I totally forgot what I was gonna say now.
The vow of silence, she laid out his spine, and then is it Steve Carell's reaction to it, or are you talking about Paul Dano's vow of silence?
No, it was before even that.
Oh, so Tony Collette says he's taking a vow of silence until he gets
Before
to the-
that.
Oh,
Never
okay.
mind.
We were talking about the
Olive,
mansion.
wow,
We were
yeah.
living here in the mansion. Did that spark anything?
Oh, that I really like that. You see so many either television shows or movies, and they'll go through like even some of the ones that we just watched. Like, I guess he has money problems. He does. Greg Kinnear does in that one too. But there's a lot of these, and they go into the family dynamics. But all the people are really wealthy. You know what I mean?
Oh,
They
yeah.
aren't dealing with the extra added pressures of when you don't have money and how much that stresses. It makes it raises the stakes so much because all these family dynamics are so much more stressful because you just can't throw money at any of the problems. You can't give those solutions. And like you'll see, I don't know, like some of the, I love Judd Apatow and a lot of his movies. I really do. And he takes after James L. Brooks. But
Nobody has any financial worries. in
but
those movies.
there's almost no characters that have financial worries in
Yeah.
those. It's all other stuff.
And even if they are working at a regular job, we never talk about how they're having struggled to make ends meet or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
And just that this is so rife with that problem, and it's used so perfectly to just they're stuck together.
Yeah.
And it's the money, the lack of it, that forces them to work this stuff out in a very immediate, and it makes it an urgent. It just ups the stakes a lot, and I really like it. And a lot of scripts don't do that as well, or they make it about being poor.
That's right.
They make it only about like, kind of the American that if you don't have more money, then you've got to get it because that's how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to have a lot of money, and I love that this film doesn't really make it about that. They just treat it with truth that you know, they aren't rich at the end of this. Spoiler alert. But but it does force them to deal with coming together more.
Yeah.
Big. Almost like a real person.
What happened to your arms?
Olive?
That's all right. I had a little accident. I'm okay.
How's the routine coming, honey?
It's good.
Yeah? When you show it to us?
I don't know. It's up to Grandpa.
Couple of days. Still needs work. What's that, chicken? Every night it's the fucking chicken. Holy God almighty. Is it possible just once
Dad?
we could get something to eat for dinner around here that's not the goddamn fucking chicken?
Hey, Dad!
I'm just saying.
Dad!
Christ.
Whenever you want to start cooking your own food.
Well, Cincinnati, you know,
Like Sunset Manor so much, you shouldn't have got yourself kicked out of it, right?
So we know he was kicked out of his retirement home.
Kicked out of an old
so
folks home.
yeah, so they had to
He's
take
got a
him
black
in.
leather jacket on.
Yeah.
We know he does drugs.
Well, he didn't even come up right away.
Yeah.
So maybe he took
Who
another
knows?
bump or something before he even comes up to dinner.
So he's doing heroin, smack, whatever.
Yeah, whatever the drug is.
Smack. I mean, it's not. It doesn't. It's not like coke. It seems like it's smack, a heroin or something.
Is
like
it? I don't know because
that. Yeah, because he.
I didn't think you.
Spoiler alert! But
Oh.
later on, something happens. It doesn't
Okay.
happen on cocaine.
Oh, okay, great.
And
I'm not a druggie.
that's my role. So
I'm high on life.
I'm high on a lot of things.
But anyways, it's basically, as you see, even though he's an adult, he's the father of Greg Kinnear. He's almost like a child.
Yeah, he's complaining about dinner.
Yeah.
He got kicked. He's like the rebellious teen. He's like
Yeah,
a rebellious
best
teenager.
Yeah,
You know,
he is.
in his old age.
He is.
I love
Good.
Alan Arkin.
It's good.
He's so good. Always with the goddamn fucking chicken.
So you know they eat chicken a lot.
They eat cheap chicken.
Yeah.
They get, whatever their
And
version
so
of
what
KFC
you know
is in.
is that her struggles as a mother, she's not coming home and
She doesn't
cooking
have
dinner
time.
for the family. She doesn't have time. I'm going to stop and get chicken, and we're going to try to do the family thing, but I just don't have time to do the
Yeah.
cooking and Ozzy at Harriet
Yeah,
life.
when you do paper plates because they don't have time to do the dishes.
That's right.
And my husband's not helping.
Yeah.
He's
Caught up in his own thing.
Caught up in his own thing.
It was-
the kids are a hand freaking full.
Here's the thing. She was probably already at her
Because they're on their
cracking
own
point.
thing.
She was
Yeah.
probably already at her cracking point, and then
'Cause
they
you have to
drop
have the dad.
and then they drop the suicidal brother in her lap too.
Yeah. So we're really at the. I
Yes.
mean, she's trying to keep this family together, the household together, and run this thing.
Yeah.
Well, and then first of all, you got, the rebel grandpa
Yeah.
getting kicked out of his old folks' home, and then having to come live with them because again, no money.
No money.
Nobody's got any money, and so there's that. And then on top of that, on top of the son who won't talk to you,
Yeah.
or anybody. Now try being a mom and having your child not speak to you.
Yeah.
You don't care if they've taken a vow of silence. It's some thing, whatever. That hurts,
Yeah.
man. That is rough. And they're living under your roof. Holy moly! Especially as a mom.
Because you want to support them, but you want their
No, you want to. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. I mean, even like the feminine side of me as a dad, that would destroy me.
yeah.
I don't mean feminine like. I just mean the classical like. Look, we all have masculine and feminine traits. We all have
Yeah.
the traditional, as seen traditionally, and like while the dad doesn't, because the dad's so involved in his own crap. A lot of dads are workaholics and that kind of stuff traditionally. Moms can be too.
Yeah.
But just the mom side of me, because I'm like Mr. Mom right now, would hate it. I still hate. Even my kids won't talk to me for like they don't want to answer. I say, "How was school today?" "Good." "Well, so what happened?" "Nothing." And I get upset at that. It's like
Beta.
what?
You're not an alpha. You're a
Oh,
beta.
shut up. You know what you're talking about. I'll alpha your ass down the sidewalk, bitch.
All right. Anyways.
So anyway,
Yeah. Let's get going. It's good.
so yeah, we're at a real. There's too many people in this
Yeah.
house. and
We're
too much
at a
stuff going
tipping
on.
point as
Yeah.
we talk about
Something's
the script
gotta
analysis.
give.
Something's
That's
got to
right.
give.
It's we're being, and now we're literally about to be pushed over with our inciting incident.
Yeah.
So when did you start with a vow?
Been 9 months, Frank. Ends at a word. Not one. I think it shows tremendous discipline.
Richard?
I really do.
Do not
Do
encourage
encourage
him.
that.
Dwayne has a goal. He has a dream. It may not be my dream, may not be yours, but he's pursuing it with great conviction.
And you could tell even the way she said Richard was they've had fights in the bedroom about this.
Yeah, and look
In
at
fact, I
Paul
was thinking
Dano's
about
look.
the 9
Yeah.
steps and-
Oh, Steve Rhino.
about the 9 steps and how Dwayne's
And again, so many actors. The problem, a big trap that a lot of young actors do is they play an attitude.
Yeah.
No one here is playing an attitude, and Paul Dano, his character would be the easiest to get trapped into doing that because it is such a cliche of the like dark, brooding, teenager. It's absolutely cliche, and he has to be truthful to that, but you see it in his reactions and his listening, how he specifically feels about his dad and what his dad's saying to him. And you see what he wants to say.
Yeah.
You see what he's thinking.
It's like
which,
content.
again, it's
right?
about,
It's like content.
yeah.
Or something.
Oh, yeah. It's about like,
Yeah.
are you? It's like getting praise from
The last thing I want
last
is your
person.
praise.
Yeah.
Because we are
you
like, we
idiot.
couldn't be more opposite.
In his mind, yeah. And so you see that, and again, you don't act on your dialogue. His character literally has no dialogue.
Yeah.
And he does great acting in this film. That's why he goes on to be Paul Dano.
That's right.
Olive, Uncle Frank didn't really have an accident. What happened was
You did? Why?
I'm sorry, I don't think this is an appropriate conversation. Honey, let's let Uncle Frank finish his dinner, okay?
Larry Sugarman is perhaps the second most highly regarded proof scholar in the U.S.
Who's number one?
That would be me, Rich.
What?
So, that's one.
No. What happened was I was a bit upset. So I said some things that I shouldn't have said, and I did some things that I shouldn't have done, and subsequently...
I just want to say it's just something that you want to pick up when you're reading this. If you were an actor to get this script to pick up on certain things, we realized, or we get just there, the information we got was that he's the #1 proof scholar in all of the U.S., and the guy that he liked choose to like #2, and it's almost like, and then Richard was like, oh, who was #1? He goes, well, I was. So you see right there immediately, being #1 does not necessarily mean victory.
Yeah, it can lead to horrible sadness.
Horrible sadness.
And he, but that was lost entirely. If you saw Greg Kinnear's reaction, he was like,
Yeah, yeah.
like his, like the irony of that was
Yeah.
lost entirely on Greg Kinnear's character.
Yep, totally.
And his acting here.
It's really top notch. These are all
Steve
top notch.
Carell.
Yeah, they're all right on the money.
Yeah.
And that's when you tried to.
Well, no.
Prejudiced
Actually, all that
grandpa.
was
You gotta have the
okay.
prejudiced grandpa
What happened
character.
was, and that's when I...
Decided to check out early.
Yes, and I failed at that as well.
Olive, the important thing to understand here is that Uncle Frank gave up on himself. He made a series of foolish choices. I'm sorry, and he gave up on himself, which is something that we
Oh
understand.
gosh.
So that's the story, okay? Now everyone just let's
Look
move
at
on.
his eyes, man.
And,
Is he always like this?
Ollie, why don't you tell us how your routine's
How can you stand it?
Little Miss Chili Pepper is a beauty contest for everyone in Albuquerque, but you have to be 6 or 7, and you have to be a girl.
This is our sister.
Cindy.
Spring break. Dwayne went to see his dad in Florida for 2 weeks, and Ollie went to Laguna to see her cousin.
So that explains too why. Look, the kid got into beauty pageants because of her sister. This family, they don't seem like they're not a beauty pageant family.
No, and she's
They're
not a
they
typical
don't come-
beauty pageant girl.
No, and she's not a beauty pageant mom.
Yeah,
She didn't get it. So that's how they make sense of that because, usually you've seen those beauty pageant mom shows.
Yeah,
or
the
whatever.
reality
type,
shows
yeah.
or whatever.
I haven't, but I've seen clips, and it's
Clips,
like
yeah, that's
they're awful. You know,
It is very much about appearance.
they're horrible.
And this
trailer
family's
trash
not
people.
about appearance.
And that's right, I said it. So if that's you, then I'm calling you a horrible trailer trash parent.
Wow.
Yeah.
There goes that demographic
There
of
goes
our
that
YouTube
demo.
of our YouTube channel.
We're gonna be every
week we're gonna
every
try
week-
to eliminate
Yes, we're gonna eliminate more
our
of our
audience.
audience. And just get rid of anybody that might be interested by insulting entire swaths of people. Generally.
That's classic.
Cheryl, it's Cindy. Remember when Olive was here last month?
Inciting incident.
Yeah.
Regional Little Miss Sunshine? Well, they just called right now and said the girl who won had to forfeit her crown. I don't know why, something about diet pills, but anyway. now
Diet
she has a
pills.
place in the state
Little girls.
contest in Redondo Beach.
I'm finished. She's got. You see where she went?
Cindy.
To practice.
Yeah, we just got it.
Did you see that?
Yeah, she basically went
She
crazy.
went down to start practicing right away.
No, I didn't get that. The machine cut you off.
If I could get my actors just to practice their goddamn acting.
This Sunday? What, are you guys going? Well, can you put it off?
Oh, she's calling somebody. She's calling a
Well,
friend.
where does that leave us?
Because she was going, I'm going. She was
Oh,
talking to somebody.
Yeah. Wait.
The little girl was.
What,
She
on
can't
a
be on the
separate
phone.
phone?
She can't be on the phone. She's talking to somebody. Maybe she's talking in the mirror to herself or something.
Yeah, I think she's packing. and
Oh,
saying,
okay.
I'm going, and she's
Okay.
just like, yeah, she's
Just
yelling,
like talking
excited,
out loud.
yeah.
No, I understand that, Cindy. Yeah, I'll just figure it out. Okay, bye-bye.
It's this Sunday? Why can't Jeff and Cindy take her?
They have some equestrian thing in Santa Barbara.
You know, they do that horse shit every single weekend.
Well, it's
Horse
nationals.
shit.
Taking
That was
off
a great,
horses, so apparently it's a big
double
deal.
entendre.
What about Olive?
Again, both of them so good with behavior. You know, like he's listening. Going, no, don't try to. You know, there's all this behavior that's telling the real story of what's happening here and how they feel about things, not in the dialogue. Because he's trying to immediately his doing is prevent her from giving us these planes. They have to take her, you know? And then she is on the phone with them going, really? Is there nothing we can do? But she can't overstep her bounds. But so then she like has to go along with it. And then she explains it. And he says, they do horse shit. I mean, it's just so perfect. And then when, you know, the last moment of behavior again was not dialogue. It was so,
A look.
what are we in? It was like,
And here's the thing: what you
I don't know.
One of
Don't
these-
put it on me. But it was more than, it wasn't a specific, it wasn't just, I don't know. It was like, you're attacking me as if I'm supposed to immediately give an answer. And so again, you see their relationship.
That's what I was getting ready to say. That's exactly what I was going to talk about. Was, you know, we don't know what day this was shot on. This could have been shot on day one, and Tony Collette and Greg Kinnear could have just met the week before for the first time. But we get a sense that they've been married for 20 years, or at least 16. The kid, right?
and that their relationship is strained.
Yeah,
The
and
communication is not good.
you cannot rely on your dialogue to get that across.
That's right.
It has
He
to
is
come through in
selfish.
behavior.
You have to make those choices.
Oh,
And they've got to be in your behavior.
Yeah.
You've got to understand what it means. She's getting her stuff together.
yeah, I won.
I'm going, we're going!
You promised fly out and come back Monday.
And how are you going to get around out there?
We'll rent a car.
And stay at a hotel?
We can afford it.
Cheryl, this is our seed money.
Well, if I had a little help bringing it in,
Don't
you know,
start that.
it all goes to your 9
I told
steps.
you.
If I had a little help bringing it in.
Yeah,
So
so
we know
she's-
she's the breadwinner right
She's
now.
the more of the breadwinner. She's a nurse, or what does she do?
I forget.
She had some tag on.
Yeah, but I don't know
And
what
it
her
looked
job
like-
is.
so I don't know.
But we know right there that he's not earning a lot of money.
Yeah, with his nine-step
program.
Yeah.
Do you think you can win, Little Miss Sunshine?
This is torturous to watch as a dad.
Are you going to win?
Because it's like the wrong message
Oh.
to send a child.
It's the worst.
Yes.
We're going to California.
Because it's not about doing your best, it's about the result.
Yeah.
It's not about giving it your all, it's not about committing,
It's the
It's
worst
not about-
message. Yeah.
striving for the standard. It's like, are you going to meet the standard? Yes or no? Now. Like, you have to say that
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
No one can know until they push themselves up against it.
Yeah.
I love Sufjan Stevens.
Is that the
Music.
composer?
Yeah. This is just from an album of his.
Oh, okay.
Illinois. And actually, Paul Dano
Suggesting the music or something?
suggested this because he was always listening to the Illinois album and on set all the time. And the directors, it's a couple, asked,
What you listen to?
whatever, we listened to. And he shared it, and then they said they got into it, and they like this track for the road
Yeah.
trip music. So now this is what, in
It's very like
screenwriting-
optimistic, that music. It's very like hopeful or
Yeah.
it's
yeah,
like- it's
moving
kinda
on
up.
the road. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really isn't because it's, it's about a guy. He's either in that song, he's traveling into Chicago. That's called
Okay.
Chicago, I think. So it's about like driving into it, whatever. It gives that sense. But anyway, now that this point, this is the act break where we're going into act 2. Like, we've had the inciting incident. We've, the heroes have taken on the thing. They figured out what they're going to do, and now they're going to go
Yeah.
into act 2 and
They've taken up the
go,
challenge or what's it called?
going
Whatever
off
that's
on
called,
the
yeah.
freaking adventure.
Yeah. The call to arms or whatever
Call
that's
to
called.
adventure.
Call to
yeah.
adventure, yeah. And they've
And now
answered
they're-
the call. That's what
They've
it is.
answered
They've
the
answered
call.
the call.
They've answered the call.
Yeah. Literally.
First, they were refusing
Literally,
it.
right?
Yeah, well, you saw they were refusing it, like every single one of them. And then finally, it came down to, him and flight school, and
Yeah.
like he sealed it. Now they've all answered the call. They're all
On
going
board.
off onto adventure. Until we get to the midpoint shift.
We're not there yet.
Not even close.
Oh, I
That's
thought
going
you
to
said.
happen in the middle. That
Yeah.
And then we're going to get to the lowest moment, and then we're going to get to the final
Yeah.
third act climax.
Start snorting heroin.
You started snorting heroin? I'm old!
I'm
That
old.
stuff will kill you. What am I, an idiot? And don't you start taking that shit. When you're young, you're crazy to do that stuff. What about you? What about me? I'm old. When you get old, you're crazy not to do it.
We've tried, believe me. The intervention was a fiasco. It was worse than a 2-year-old.
Can we please talk about something else?
I take it you didn't like it at Sunset Manor.
Frank.
Are you kidding me? It's a fucking paradise.
There's a certain thing that I think with Greg Kinnear watching his dad do this, like he's trying to do what we think as a father, which is like, don't infect my children with that nonsense from his point of view. But it's almost an embarrassment because he goes, I come from this guy that is apparently what he would call a loser.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of embarrassment behind that.
Yes,
Or
which is again, he's on the same path still that his son is now on,
Yeah.
which is to get away from his dad.
Yeah.
Hates his dad, and to create his own independent world that reforms himself without any connection to, and that's why he, with his dad living with them, has a great deal of trouble keeping order on
Yeah.
that vision, because it goes against, nature, which is that you gotta deal with what you're given,
yeah.
and who you come from in order to really get past it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but it's interesting, right? How
Yeah.
it gets passed down,
Yeah.
and none of them see it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pool, they got golf. Now I'm stuck with Mr. Happy here, sleeping on a fucking sofa. Look, I know you're a homo and all, but maybe you can appreciate this. You go to one of those places, there's 4 women for every guy. Can you imagine what that's like?
You must have been very busy.
Whoa! I had 2nd-degree burns on my Johnson, I kid you not.
Really?
Forget about it.
What are you guys talking about?
Politics.
Oh,
Fucked a lot of women, kid. I have no reason to lie to you. Not one woman. A lot of them. You heard what I said? Did he go in anywhere?
Yeah, I think we get the point, Dad.
Don't show me the pad. I don't want to see the fucking pad.
Because he was going to write to him, right? Last word free.
I don't want to miss this part.